All right, let's jump right into a situation that almost every new supervisor will face. Sooner or later, one of your workers is going to say no. The big question is, how do you handle that? We're going to look at a way to manage this that's smart, strong, and fair for everyone.
So picture this. You give an instruction that someone on your team pushes back. It can feel, well, pretty tough in that moment, right? But hey, don't worry. This is a totally normal part of being a leader. Let's walk through a really good way to handle it.
You know, every good supervisor has a kind of toolkit, and some of the best tools aren't tools at all. They're just words. We're going to talk about the right words to use, the ones that can change a conflict into cooperation.
So the first and honestly the most important tool in your kit is respect. It's a simple idea, but it's so powerful. It just means you really listen to the other person and you treat them fairly, even when you don't agree. Everything else we talk about is built on this.
Okay, next up in our toolkit is reasoning. This is all about giving a good, clear reason for what you're asking. I mean, think about it. When people understand why something is important, they're way more likely to help out. A clear reason really helps build trust. But what if you explain your reasons and you're still stuck? Well, that's when you can reach for compromise. This is about finding that middle ground, you know? Maybe you give a little and the worker gives a little. The goal is to find a solution that works for both of you. As a supervisor, you do have authority. That's your right to lead and to make decisions. But here's the thing. Authority works best when you've already used respect and reasoning. It's a tool you have, for sure, but it shouldn't be the first one you use. And all of these tools, respect, reasoning, compromise, they all lead us to the main goal, cooperation. This is that great moment when everybody is working together to get the job done. When you use your other tools well, cooperation is what happens naturally. It's what a great team looks like.
Okay, so we have our toolkit. But what does using these tools actually look like in the real world? Let's watch a conversation and see exactly how a supervisor uses them to solve a problem.
So, meet John. He's a warehouse worker. His supervisor asks him to unload a truck. But John pushes back. He feels like it's unfair and he doesn't want to do it. This is that moment of conflict we were talking about.
So, what does the supervisor do? Does he get angry? Does he start yelling? Nope. His first move is the most important one. He listens and he shows respect. He doesn't start a fight, he starts a conversation.
And this is just brilliant. He uses two tools at once here. First, he says, I understand. Boom, that's respect. Then, right away, he gives a clear reason. We need your experience. He's explaining why John is the right person for this job.
But John's still not convinced. He's still resisting. So the supervisor knows he needs to pull another tool out of the toolkit.
Notice how the supervisor is staying totally calm. He could just use his authority and say, because I said so, but he doesn't. Instead, he uses the reasoning tool again and gives John a little more information to help him see the whole picture.
And here it is. The supervisor explains that everyone else is busy with other important jobs. Now John can see the full situation. It's not about picking on him. It's about the team needing to get everything done.
And because the supervisor has been so respectful, John now feels safe enough to say what the real problem is. The work is just tiring. He's not just trying to be difficult, he has a real concern. And getting this kind of honest feedback is pure gold for a supervisor.
This is the turning point. Now that the supervisor knows the real issue, he can actually solve it. So what does he do? He reaches for his next tool, compromise. He's looking for a fair solution that helps John out.
And there's the compromise. The supervisor agrees with John that the work is tiring. Then he offers a solution. John will do a different job after lunch. This is totally fair. John helps the team now, and the supervisor helps him later. It's a win-win.
So what happens when you mix respect, good reasons, and a fair compromise? You get cooperation. Just like that, the problem is solved. John agrees to the plan, and the work gets done. The supervisor turned a no into a yes.
I love this part. Look at how the supervisor ends the conversation. He thanks John. This positive ending doesn't just solve today's problem, it builds a stronger, more respectful relationship for tomorrow.
Okay, that was a fantastic real-world example. So now, let's break it down into a simple plan that you can remember and use anytime you're in a similar situation.
Here's your 4-step plan. It's super easy. First, always start with respect. Just listen. Second, give clear reasons. Help them understand the why. Third, if you need to, find a fair compromise. And last, always end by thanking them for their cooperation. That's it.
We have covered a lot today.
So let's wrap things up and look at the most important ideas to take away from all this. These are really the keys to getting great cooperation from your team.
So when you think about it, it all comes down to this. Respect is what opens the door to a real conversation. Clear reasons are what build trust with your team, and finding a fair compromise shows people that you're actually listening to them. When you do all that, you're not just a boss, you're a leader.
So there you have it, a clear toolkit and a simple plan for handling those tough conversations. The next time a worker says no, you'll know exactly what to do. So let me ask you, which tool will you use first?